In this video, we'll show you how to create a new project with Project Hub. Let's provide an overview of a couple of ways that you can create a project. First of all, if you're going to do a brand new project, create a brand new project, it's not been done before, you'll want to actually have Project Hub create the project team as you create the project. So the steps are, to create a new project, you go to the new project setup page. You give it a descriptive name. You select a drop-down that tells the product to create a team. You identify who the project owners are, which are typically your project managers, who the team members are, and who are going to be viewers. These are going to be used when we create the team. And then just some details of the project, perhaps plan, start and stop time, budget, that type of stuff. So when you hit enter, an MS team is actually created. It creates an MS team. It creates when the team is created, it creates a SharePoint group site behind the team. That's actually where documents are stored and accessed through the team. So it creates a team site. It actually adds concatenates a PH or for Project Hub dash, and then the ID of the project item. So if it's number 13 project, it'll be PH-13 or 14. It will automatically add the owners, who are the PMs and the members, into the MS team, and then it'll go back into the Project Hub list item and fill in links to the MS team and the SharePoint site in the project list item. Now, at this point, you could just go ahead and start using the team, start populating in documents as well. You could add a planner to your team site and start tracking tasks and those type of things. But you also have an option with Project Hub to actually use template for the document structure and even for planner. So at this point, you can also go in and copy a document structure in with even documents and folders in it, and you can actually copy in a planner template in it and attach it to the MS team and set up MS team tabs. So this is what it takes to create a new team. Most of it is automated all the way through creating the team, and then there are a couple of manual steps if you're going to take and set up your document and file structure template or a planner template. Okay, let's look at the next option you have. Now, what if you've already got an existing team out there? You've already been using Teams for project management and for the team to work in, but now you actually want to connect that to Project Hub. Well, in this case, what you're going to do is you're going to go into Project Hub, you're going to create a new project. You're going to select, instead of create a new team, team exists. Then you want to go to your existing MS team and group site and get the URL links to the team. And you'll want to actually add that into the project list item in Project Hub. That will actually point it to Project Hub. Now, you also can optionally add concatenate a PH dash, and the XX is your ID number for the Project Hub. This will help you if you want to roll up documents or even to see a roll up planner view if you're using Planner as well. So in essence, what you're doing is you're kind of retroactively attaching this team and the underlying SharePoint group site to the Project Hub. Now, just as with the first one, you could also either use what you're already using in the team, or you could also apply a document structure into this team if you wanted to. But in most cases, you're probably going to already have a document structure out there because you've been using it as a project team already. So let's take a look at what this looks like in using it with Project Hub. Okay, here I am in Project Hub. I'm actually part of the PMO permission group. And under this is where I can actually set up new projects. So I go to the project setup page, and on this page we see that I can set up the new project. I can actually add a client before I set up a project, for instance in the clients list. as well. And I can also access, we'll see later, the doc structure template. And there is instructions on the page also to take you through this. So let's go ahead, and the first thing I'm actually going to do is, as we say here in preparation, if it's a project for a client, you may want to add the client to the list first. So I'm going to go in here and add a new client. Okay, and that client is going to be Main Street Commercial. Okay, and we happen to be a commercial solar company. And I'll just leave it at that. There's a whole bunch of information, contact information, and so on, but I just really want to be able to link it to this client. So here's Main Street Commercial. So now if I go back to the project setup page, I'm now ready to actually create a new project, which I'm actually going to create a solar install project for Main Street Commercial. So I go into the project setup. The first thing I do is name the project. I want to do it something that is descriptive, Main Street Commercial Solar Install. Okay, and I wanted to create a team. Okay, that's my choice is a team exists or already create one. The client is Main Street Commercial. My department here is services, and the category is a solar install. These are used for reporting purposes. The status is not started, and I'm going to be the primary owner. So we'll put in myself. And I'm also going to put in Jeff Krausman as well as secondary owner, or also a secondary project manager. Team members will be Earl on the team, and we'll also have Chris on the team as well, and other project viewers. So these team, what will happen is all of us will become members of this new team that's being created. Other project viewers are not team members, but they may be somebody that wants to have some oversight. So it could be Donna Martin that be able to see the project here up in Project Hub, but not be actually going into the team thing. I can also put in information about planned start date, planned end date, that type of thing as well. I'm going to do that in just a moment. I can put a detailed description in here if I wanted to, and I could put any comments too. So, but I'm going to leave all those empty, and I'm just going to hit save. And what's going to happen is now it's going to launch, and we'll see when there is a PH at the end of this, that means it will have created the site, and we'll see it populate an MS Teams link here and a SharePoint group site link when it's completed. And it can take up to 5 minutes or so to complete the process of creating a team site. In the meantime, I'm actually going to fill in some of the other fields for the project. So let's go ahead and edit the project here. And we'll see actually some other tabs here that come up. But right now, the health of the project is on track. It's at 0%. Here, the planned start date is we're going to actually start this in middle of December here. So it'll start the 15th, and our planned end date is the right before Christmas, the 24th, for the project, overall project. Start date and end date are actual dates here. This is really just what the project manager fills in. I can put in overall project cost or overall hours and comments in here as well. So at this point, I'll leave it at that, and we'll see that now we can see percent complete and so on. And it looks like the Power Automate flow is still running to create the team site. Okay, I've noticed that I see PH21. It's actually the ID of the project put on the end of this. I see that there is now a link to a team site and to a group site. And I can, of course, link to the client and see the client information from here, too. So let's go see what it's created as far as the team site. Okay, so here's our Main Street commercial team site. It's just set up one channel, a general channel. So at this point, if we take a look at files, I can start populating files by just dragging files in here. The wiki I really don't need, but I may want to add something else. For instance, I may want to add a planner and create a new planner for this, or if I'm using a existing plan, which we'll take a look at in just a few minutes of how you can actually use a plan template. That'll be in another video here. But we'll create a new plan, and the tab name is tasks. And let's hit save. And it will create our planner tasks. And so now we can actually start tracking tasks within the project. We can share files as well here in the project. So that is basically setting up a new project with a project team. We'll also see, by the way, that we can open this in SharePoint. So I can go in and look at this in a SharePoint site here, which is what's behind the team as well. And I can work through the SharePoint site, which has a home page and so on as well, or I can choose to use Teams UI to work on this. So that's how you set up a basic project. Let's go next and see how you can link an existing team to a new project. Okay, next, we're going to actually create a project that supports an existing team. So we have an existing team out there that we're doing the Office 365 migration for the Canada region for our company. And we can see that there's files and so on that are being kept track of. There's actually a planner out here as well. And so what we want to do now is to actually create a project that actually links to this and can be part of Project Hub. So what we'll do is let's go over to Project Hub and the setup page. Again, we're going to create a new project. And this time, we're going to call this O365 Migration Canada. And in this case, we're going to say the team already exists. There's no client for this because it's an internal project. It's part of IT, and the category is an internal project. The status is the project is open. The primary project manager is Earl Libby here, and we have team members, which are David Demo is on this team, and also Chris Kemsley. Okay, and we can also have other project viewers we're not going to put in the site. Now, notice that this time it's actually asking me to put in a link to the team site. That's because it already exists. It didn't create a new team. So let's go over to the team, and here it is, Migration, Office Migration Canada, and I can go in and get a link to the team. Okay, and copy that. And what I'll do is actually go and then put that link in here, and I'll put in MS Team. Okay, that's what it'll show up as. I can leave it at that, or I can also go back here if I wanted to, and go in and open the SharePoint site for this, and we'll go to the home page of the SharePoint site, and here's a link to that, and I can put that into the project as well. So put the link to the SharePoint site, and I'll just put SP site there. And now I can put in other information here. Health of this is on track, and actually it's about 60% complete. And the overall planned start date was actually back in November, if I want to just catch it up here. and the planned end date is by the end of the year. And I'll hit save. So in this case, what happens is we see immediately we have Migration Canada and we have links to these because they're an existing site. Okay, and of course, we now are tracking this in Project Tracker. So that's how you set up projects. This one was a brand new project, Main Street Commercial, and we set it up with a team site and populated it. And that was done through Project Hub. And this one was an existing, using an existing team and setting up in Project Hub. So hopefully this was helpful. You may want to look at a couple other videos. One where we actually go in and populate this with a set of templates here. Actually the project folder template, project document structure template, and we'll also show on this one how to actually put a planner template in there as well.